The issue is Washington has lost its last 10 Monday night home games. 8 Sports Director Phil Orban is live at FedEx Field with more. Phil.
Hey, Yanni, there's 2 reasons to be optimistic if you're a Washington Redskins fan about the outcome of the Monday Night Football matchup against the New York Giants tonight. And guess what? They both involve quarterback Robert Griffin III.
What a win. The Rams back to the big dance. Yanni Caracas was courtside. He has more live from the Coliseum. Yanni?
Well, Phil, when VCU lost this game last year, they had to play the waiting game for about a week to hear from the NCAA Selection Committee about whether or not they were in the tournament. This year, they didn't want to have to go through that again.
Welcome into the final edition of the 8 Sports Blitz. Yanni, the season continues for several area teams, but our season ends tonight.
Yeah, but we might as well go out with a bang. We had a great slate of playoff games tonight. Let's start with the #1 team in the area, Hermitage, hosting LC Bird.
Yanni, yeah, there's something a little bit different about opening day, especially when it's here at the Diamond, especially when it's sold out. 9,500 plus expected here.
Christina, the mantra for tomorrow night's race is checkers or wreckers. It's pretty creative, you have to admit. What it means is get the checkered flag or wreck your car trying.
Tonight, a world record is in jeopardy. The most continuous high fives is the goal from this group right here. Dave Saunders is the mastermind behind this. Where'd you get the idea?
The bad news is it's not like those 2 losses have been close losses. They can't get out of their own way. They can't pitch, they can't hit, but Bryce Harper has a recipe for success to keep this season alive.
Maybe it was first game jitters, but this game didn't get really interesting between Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech until midway through the 4th quarter.
Yanni, as you know, it's never been an issue for Virginia Tech to get to the postseason. The Hokies have played in a bowl game every year since 1993. It's winning the big ones, like tomorrow night's showdown with Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. That's been the problem.
Now, you may remember Tony Stewart wasn't able to come to the White House last year when the drivers were honored, but this year, a totally different story. That's because the number 14 car was parked on the South Lawn.
We had a chance to catch up with Coach Smart in Richmond before the team charter left. Coach, back in the NCAA tournament, and although a lot of the guys didn't have a ton of playing experience, there's something to be said for the experience of just being there, being through the media crush, I would imagine.
No question. Yeah, we have several guys back from last year's run. And
on November 4th, the Redskins were 3-6, and Mike Shanahan said he needed to evaluate players for next year. Translation, this season is over. Not so fast. 7 weeks later, and here we are, RG3 and the Redskins playing rival Dallas. At stake, the team's first NFC East crown this millennium and a spot in the playoffs.
Drink a lot of coffee, Phil?
You know, Gina, I have a 5-month-old daughter at home, so coffee helps my memory. It helps me remember that I'm actually awake at times. It works.
But when we strapped a mic onto Mac, it wasn't just baseball he was talking about.
Today the tax day?
They get till the 17th this weekend, but it's usually the 15th. Today.
What happens if you don't do your taxes at all, Johnny? You end up in jail. All these beep beep songs. Bop 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 beep bop. Hear it?
They're all the same.
They're all the same. Except the words, and most of them aren't good words.
Yeah, Phil, we're joined by Casey Kane, who hopes confetti falls on his number 5 Chevy come Saturday night. You already have 2 wins, but you can really improve your stock going into the chase. Talk about your approach heading into Saturday. Phil, after competing in the CAA conference for the last 17 years, VCU announced the highly anticipated move to the Atlantic 10 in all sports effective July 1st.
How much more comfortable you've gotten, not just in the city, not just with the fans, but in all sort of aspects of your job. Do you feel that as well?
Oh, I definitely feel that.
This is a story of a second chance.
Strike 3 in the inner half.
In a sport that so rarely offers one.
It was real weird when I first went home because it was like I'd never even played ball before.
In 2005, at the age of 24, Jason Stevenson walked into the office of Washington Nationals farm director Andy Dunn and told him he was walking away from the game.
Things weren't really going good at home, and I told him, hey, look, this is the deal. I got to go home. He said, well, guess what? You have an open door if you get what you get done taken care of back home.
But a temporary hiatus for Stevenson would last 5 years. Without baseball, his life unraveled.
A month into it, trying to make the marriage work, we got a divorce. She took my kid from me. I pretty much then kind of spiraled, you know. I got caught in the wrong crowd, did some things, you know, that weren't good for my health. From that point, I had hit rock bottom. I said to myself, like, dude, you can't even look at yourself in the mirror.
Jason Stevenson's long road back began with a phone call to his former manager, Dave McAmer, now with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Stevenson had signed with an independent league team, the Chico Outlaws.
I kind of laughed when he first brought it up, the fact that he wanted to pitch again. And I go, well, gee, wow, what have you been doing? And he goes, well, not much. You know, I haven't thrown a pitch in 6 years. And I go, well, what makes you think you could really pitch again?
He asked me, you know, some questions that, you know, he just wanted to feel me out and see where my head was at and where I was off the field.
With his problems off the field behind him, on-field success quickly followed.
I was kind of taking the league by storm, you know, and you know, after the first week, I let Mac know my numbers.
And he continued to text me game after game after game that he was starting. And of course, he went on to, was 2-0, and he texted me 3-0, 4-0, and it went on. And then when he was 5-0, I said, maybe we, like I said, should get somebody to see him.
It was McAmer's belief in Jason Stevenson that got him back to the big leagues.
I get a phone call from Jason. He goes, Mac, how can I ever repay you? I go, well, why is that? And he goes, I signed with the Giants, and I'm pitching in Las Vegas Monday for the Fresno Grizzlies.
It didn't take long to repay the favor. Because of injuries, the Flying Squirrels were without a starting pitcher heading into their season finale against the Altoona Curve, a must-win game if the Squirrels wanted to reach the postseason. The Giants gave McAmer the choice of any minor league pitcher in their organization. Mac picked Stevenson.
So we got one game left. We know the weather's going to be bad. And he's like, well, it's up to you, kid.
And the Curve will get a look at somebody that really nobody's gotten a look at all season long.
He came in and pitched one of the greatest, what turned out to be one of the greatest games of the entire year last year.
Here's the 3-2 pitch.
It was like a movie in itself for me.
When he gives a little fist pump right there.
Hodgie hits a home run, we win the game. They call it after that. And then Mac, first thing he did, you know, came over to me and gave me a big hug, and it was worth it.
At 30 years old, Stevenson is starting over. The regrets are plentiful, but so are the lessons learned on the 5-year journey back to baseball.
Not a lot of people get this second chance, and for me, I'm more than thankful. I'm very blessed. I mean, I'm playing for a manager that loves me. I'm playing for, you know, the Giants, who is my childhood dream team. There's not much more, you know, I can ask for.
A week after we sat down, Stevenson was called up to AAA Fresno. He had come full circle, once again a step away from the big leagues. But this time, expect the story to have a happy ending. With the Squirrels, Phil Orban, 8 Sports.
Welcome to another edition of The Blitz with Yanni Caracas. I'm Phil Orban. Yanni, our game of the week chosen not for who was playing, but where.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool setup. Number 1 Hermitage and John Marshall squared off under the lights tonight at Hovey Field in the inaugural Willie Lanier Classic. The NFL Hall of Famer and Richmond native on hand for this one. First quarter we go. Hermitage wasting no time. Nico Johnson rolling out. He finds Derek Green, 11-yard score, 7-0 Panthers. Moments later, this time the state's biggest recruit takes it by himself. That puts Big Herm up 13-0. Phil, there's going to be a theme to these highlights. A lot of Nico Johnson and a whole lot of Derek Green.
Both
the
good.
two hook up for this 18-yard score. Later on, Johnson deciding to keep it himself. Watch the quarterback take it, and check out the hit he takes at the goal line. Big Herm up 26-0, and they would just not let up. Green in for yet another touchdown run here. Hermitage wins the Willie Lanier Classic 62-0.
Thomas Dale hosting number 8 Dinwiddie. DJ Reed takes the pitch left. He's got some space, cuts back across the field. Hustling inside the 10. He's going to get hauled down at the 5-yard line. 3 plays later, he'll finish off the drive with a 3-yard touchdown run. Knights on top, 14-7. Back come the Generals. This is 4th and goal from the 3. Ronald Kearney hits Cedarius Williams on the slant. We're all knotted up in the 4th quarter. Same score, Dinwiddie at it again. It's Williams again, right up the gut, 15-yard touchdown run. Generals take the lead, it's 21-14. Last chance for the Knights, 4th and long. A.J. Holiday back to Reed. The halfback pass, he's got a man open, but it falls incomplete. Dinwiddie hangs on to win, 21-14.
What a game there. Atlee, tough home matchup with number 2 Verina. Blue Devils up 21-14 at the break. 3rd quarter now, Herb Anderson in from 5 yards out. That extends Verina's lead to 28-14. Later on, Atlee down 34-14, but not going away. Kenner Tanner Berry through the air to Chadwick Jacob. 24-yard touchdown. Lead cut to 34-21. After recovering an onside kick, Berry again looking end zone, but he is picked off by P.T. Dixon. The kid does it on both sides of the ball. The INT would lead to a 95-yard Verina scoring drive, capped off by this Brandon Wood touchdown. Verina beats Atlee 56-21. Now, Phil, for our 8 Sports Blitz rivalry of the week, we go back down to the south side.
Yeah, Cosby hosting Manchester, a battle of top 10 teams from Chesterfield County. And it's homecoming at Cosby, all roses for the Titans. They lead 21-0 at the half. You like that? But the Lancers not going away. Brandon Allen down the middle of the field for Miles Brathwaite. Touchdown Manchester, a 40-yarder, 21-7 the spread now. Cosby trying to answer the score. Tyler Fitzgerald running left. A physical run. Bangs his way inside the 5. Could be a touchdown. They say he stepped out. Fitzgerald doesn't think so. Titans have to settle for a field goal. It's 24-7. Lancers got to hurry now. 4th quarter. The draw inside to Carlos Morales. Nice gain on the run. It's a first down. Big hit laid on by Bradley Newman. Later in the drive, it's Morales again inside. A great effort again. Spinning in for the score, but it wasn't enough. Cosby hangs on. 24-14 the final.
The Patriots of Patrick Henry taking on deep run. Opening drive for the Wildcats. They'll give it to Evan Hinkle. Hinkle makes one cut outside, and he's got plenty of room. Down the sideline he goes, 59 yards to the house. Deep run up 7-0 in no time. Back comes Patrick Henry putting together a nice drive down to the 5. That's when Otis Harris takes it the rest of the way. Game tied at 7. Meanwhile, Deep Run had a case of the fumbles early on. Hinkle is stripped of the football, recovered by the Patriots' Dwayne Winston, but PH could not cash in on the turnover. Later in the half, still 7-7 when Deep Run's Mark McCray finds his tight end Stephen Quinn. He'll bulldoze into the end zone. 21-yard score. Wildcats win it 21-14.
LC Bird at Midlothian, all Skyhawks in this one. Terrence Evans straight drop fires a strike down the middle. Darius Hawkins there, 12-yard touchdown, 6-0 Skyhawks on top. More from Bird to give to Paul Robertson over the right side. Great cut back to the middle of the field, and he is gone. Paul Robertson goes 56 yards for the touchdown. Bird out front by 2 scores. The Trojans trying to get something going. Tough sledding. Justin Joyce under pressure. His throw is going to be picked off by Deion Taylor. Nice return from Taylor. That'll set up Robertson one more time. The pitch left to him. 25-yard touchdown run. All Skyhawks. They win it 33-6.
Homecoming at Henrico. Warriors thinking upset of Hanover. First quarter up 3-0. Breon Melvin hits Barry Peterson. Peterson gone down the sideline. 70 yards for the touchdown. Warriors out in front 10-0. Back come the Hawks. The inside handoff to L.J. Jones. Jones with some running room now. He'll match it with a 55-yard touchdown. Extra point no good. 10-6. Henrico still on top. Not for long. Jones again on the draw. 9-yard score. Hanover takes their first lead at 13-10, but Phil, from there, Henrico would open up a double-digit lead. This is Michael Smoot. 32-yard touchdown. Warriors tasting the upset. But Hanover, with quarterback Andrew Kisner injured, they would turn to Travis Barton. He scores from 5 yards out. A route from there, 66-37 Hanover.
What a rally. A pink out at Meadowbrook on the shoes and the Monarchs jerseys. MBK hosting Prince George. First quarter, no score. Inside trap handoff to Isaiah Adibi to the second level. And from here, it's a foot race. Isaiah Adibi, 71 yards up the sideline for the score. Meadowbrook out front, 7-0. Later in the quarter, more from the Monarchs. Gerard Johnson, his pass tipped right into the hands of Earl Hughes, and Hughes off to the races, 54 yards to the end zone. All Meadowbrook tonight, they roll 35-0, the final.
The Godwin cheerleaders all pumped up for this TJ game. Third quarter, Eagles driving. Dane 4 lines, hooks up with his buddy Christian Wilder, moved the chains, 23-yard gain. 4 plays later, Jeremy Sternlick punches it in from 3 yards out. 2-point conversion good. 20-0 Godwin. How about some defense?
Love defense.
Zach Pardon busting through the line. The big QB sack of Maurice Watkins. Later in the third, 4 lines. Gets the D with the pump fake and then goes deep to Cole Parker. 47 yards. Godwin rolls 41-0.
I like that throw. Don't go anywhere. We have plenty more 8 Sports Blitz ahead,
including our world famous Band of the Week segment. Don't go anywhere.